Hi, I'm Anna. Welcome aboard Flight All-Star 7. Destination? Success. We've been in lockdown for way too long, haven't we? We haven't been able to travel in over a year. Aren't you ready to get in your car or get on a plane and just go somewhere? Anywhere? I'm going to take you to a happy place. So close your eyes. If you could go anywhere in the world, anywhere, where would you go right now? Are you there? What can you see? What can you hear? What can you touch? What can you smell? What can you taste? Does it feel good? Now, do you remember wearing All-Stars as a teenager and just taking them everywhere you went? Well, the truth is we still wear them today, don't we? And so do our teenagers. So put on those All-Stars and bring that happy place in your head. We're going on a trip through our course book. But before we embark on the actual trip, there's all that excitement of looking forward to it. You know, that feeling, that anticipation. What are we going to see? What are we going to do? What are we going to experience? Just like on a trip, All-Stars fosters curiosity in the learning journey by building anticipation. So the intro pages to each unit work as a teaser. It could be a video or a song. We work on the language coming up in the unit in a lighthearted way. And there's always a pop quiz. What do students already know? Or what are they looking forward to discovering along the unit? Can you still see that happy place in your head? Well, before we actually travel, we look at that happy place, don't we? We look online, we look at images of the place, we think of the language we might need and the best way to get there. In our course books, students look at the destination first. They look at models of writing or speaking tasks, what they want to achieve. That's their destination. And we provide them with all the necessary stages to get there, just like a road map, to take them to that destination, the outcome of the task. Now, even simple speaking tasks throughout the book have a model and useful language to help students feel more confident and do well. And this is how we use a light task-based approach throughout the course book to guide students in the learning journey. I don't know about you, but when I travel, I like to look at beautiful views. But I also like to focus on smaller details, like an interesting building or a beautiful doorway. So that's where binoculars come in handy, so we can focus on important details. And that's what we do in All-Stars. We go from the bigger picture and we zoom in. We help students use their binoculars and build on what they already know. For example, family is a recurrent topic, isn't it? Students see it year after year. They know the basic vocabulary. They know mother, father, sister, brother. So we need to zoom in on what they don't know, on what perhaps they need to know, not only to expand their vocabulary, but to be able to see themselves in the book, ensuring inclusive practices. We zoom in on the grammar. After providing students with a real context first, then real functional language needed for an authentic speaking task. We zoom in on real English, the kind of English they'd be likely to hear out in the real world, in the streets. So let's listen to Glenn. What do you have in common?
What's your name?
Hello, my name's Glenn.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from New Zealand.
Where do you live?
I live in Poland.
And what time do you wake up?
I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
What's the first thing you do when you get up?
When I get up, the first thing I do is check my mobile phone.
I think we all check our phones first thing in the morning, not just adults, but teenagers as well. So this Vox Pop section, for example, we filmed this real video in Belfast with real people from different countries talking about their morning routines. So we have a different take on daily routine, which is also a recurrent topic, isn't it? We have real language in real contexts and used in authentic tasks, and students are reminded along the journey in the tasks of the language they need as we guide them towards learner autonomy. When we're traveling, we communicate with real people, we experience their culture, and we even compare it to our own. All Stars brings the real world into the classroom using authentic material. In this case, through a photography project published in various news outlets by New York photographer Michelle Crow called the Universal Family Project. Students see what different families around the world look like. But in the end, when we zoom in, we realize that we're actually more alike than we are different. And it's funny because I actually established a friendship with Michelle when I asked her for permission to use her photographs in our course book. She was so excited that they were going to be used for educational purposes, and we've actually become very good friends. And then we have real stars like Sandy Kilpatrick. He's from Scotland and he's a musician who just happens to live in Portugal. Culture is introduced through a real person, and that encourages students to want to discover more. Now we're going to listen to Sandy. He's going to teach us how to say something in Scottish. So listen carefully. Do you have a favorite Scottish word or expression?
Oh, it depends.
Can you teach us a word?
I. We say I instead of yes. The spell is A-Y-E. And in Scotland, people very often say I instead of yes.
So now we know how to say yes in Scottish. I. These culture sections can lead to projects, and we can make it even more real for our learners by connecting it to our local culture. You will actually see throughout the book, many of the tasks can be extended into cross-curricular projects. When we travel, we cross bridges to get from one side to the other. But we also build bridges. We make connections. With All Stars, we build bridges between generations through the way we work on topics in order to bring us closer to our teens. We build connections through the variety of material we have at our fingertips and the choice of topics that are relevant to teenagers. We make connections with our students using videos like Stargirl, which is a film based on a well-known book with a very quirky character that our teenagers might identify with. There are lots of different types of texts in our course book, like book reviews, which not only develop reading skills, but also encourage students to read. and perhaps read outside of the classroom, because ultimately we want our learners to become more autonomous. And speaking of reading, well, we have a special guest that would like to say something to you. So have a listen.
Hi everyone, my name is Richard Zimler, and I'd like to invite you to read my book, The Dog Who Ate Raindrops, which is part of the All Stars Project. Let me start it off for you. Almost everyone said it wasn't a good thing for a dog to knock down a boy and bite him, even if he deserved it. Maybe they were right. But I couldn't blame Adam. If I were as big and powerful as he is, I might have done something a whole lot worse. But I'm getting way ahead of myself.
Our extensive reading is the original version of Richard Zimler's award-winning book, O Cão que Comia a Chuva, which can be worked on in conjunction with the subject of Portuguese. Now, the book is all around the topic of bullying, and this can be worked on together with cidadania. We've got English, Portuguese, cidadania, so many connections, all these bridges. Now, you know that happy place in your head? Can you still see it? When we travel, we often go to souvenir shops to buy something that will help us remember our trip. A little trinket like a fridge magnet. And then we often look at it to reflect back on the journey and all those experiences, don't we? Well, All Stars makes the learning journey more visible to students and helps them become more autonomous learners. That's why in the workbook we have the guided writing, which trains students on how to become better writers, leading to learner autonomy. That feeling of achievements once they've completed the writing, their souvenir. And in the course book, at the end of each unit, we have a learner autonomy section. Now, in this activity, students collect English around them, like in those coffee mugs, or it could be from t-shirts. So that's like going to a souvenir shop, isn't it? They have the word lists that makes the vocabulary from the unit stand out. Souvenirs. Now, self-assessment is an important part of the learning journey. For example, students are given the opportunity to choose their own words to remember and how to remember them. Again, souvenirs. There's also a self-assessment checklist for students to reflect on their progress, which makes the learning journey in the unit much more visible for our students. Now, the ultimate reason we travel is to escape from the daily grind, isn't it? I know I'm ready to escape. We're looking for new adventures, new experiences. We want to see a variety of different things that will help us grow and learn. With All Stars, there are plenty of opportunities to escape. We escape through pictures, don't we? We look at our gallery on our phone, look at holiday snaps, or we look through Instagram. The visual element is very important. Here we're not only describing a picture, but we're connecting it to real life, an authentic task, with a supportive, useful language, learner autonomy. Now the picture is connected to a song. There's a bridge. And it's not just to practice grammar like present simple and continuous, but we're relating it again to life experience and with a focus on real English. Or we can escape the course book using digital resources. In this case, traveling by going on a virtual tour. making language much more memorable for our students. But we can escape for real with one of the All-Stars escape rooms. Through gaming, students work collaboratively using thinking and problem-solving skills in a creative way. Now, this is a bridge to a world that our learners know how to navigate so well, using English as a vehicle. Have you still got your All-Stars on? Because every journey needs the right pair of shoes. You need to feel comfortable to walk the journey. And to fully appreciate it, you also need to be able to walk in other people's shoes. Traveling enables us to develop empathy, to see things from other perspectives. And that runs throughout the whole course book.
So what's more important? Is it reaching the destination or the journey itself, with all the adventures and connections, or both?
So leave those all-stars on and join us on this journey to successful language learning.
There are places, adventures, tools, and experiences for everyone.
And all you need is
All-Stars!